next arithmetic operators that we are going to look at is the exponential. Let's do xp equals to 2. We want to do 2 raised to power of a number. Let's say 2 raised to power 3. So we use the multiplication sign 2 times and say asterisk asterisk 3. And let's print the value. Exp, we have 8. So that's 2 raised to power 3, which will give us 8. That is all about the arithmetic operators that we're going to cover. So the next kind of operators we want to cover is the comparison operator. To do equals to, that is to check if a number is equals to another number. That's equals to. We can check. Let's say print if 5 equals 5. So if this is true, then we'll get true as an answer. So 5 is equals to 5, that's true. So we can also check print if 5 equals to 3, 5 equals 3. If this is true, we'll get true as our result. And if this is false, we'll get false as our output. So 5 is not equals to 3. So that is why we're getting false. So we want to try the not equals to sign and see what we are going to get. Not equal to operator now. So we can print and see if 5 is not equals to 5. So if 5 is not equals to 5, we should get true as an answer. But if 5 is equals to 5, then we should get false. We are checking if 5 is not equals to 5. So for now, we know 5 is equals to 5. So that should give us false. And we should check again. 5, print 5 not equals to 3. So we know that 5 is not equals to 3. So for this, we should get true as an answer. So that is about the not equals to sign or the not equals to operator. So the next one we're going to check is the greater than operator. So the greater than operator, we are printing and checking if 5 is greater than 3. So if 5 is greater than 3, then we should get true as an answer. And when we check again and do it the other way around, print if 3 is greater than 5. So since we know that 3 is not greater than 5, so this should give us false as an answer. So that is the greater than sign. And let's check the less than sign. Let's print 5 less than 3. And let's also print, if we'll do it the other way around, 3 less than 5. So for 5 less than 3, we know that is not true. So we're going to get false. And for 3 less than 5, we know that is true. Then we are going to get true. So for 5 less than 3, we get false because 5 is greater than 3. And for 3 less than 5, we get true because that is actually true. 3 is less than 5. The next operator we want to talk about is the greater than or equals to. Let's print 5 greater than or equals to 3. And let's print the other way around. 3 greater than or equals to 5. So for this kind of operator now, it's trying to check 2 conditions. And the 2 conditions, if they are met, we get true. And if they are not met, we get false. So for example, if one of the condition is met and the other is not, so we still get false. And if one of the condition is not met and the other is met, so we still get 4. For example now, 5, we know 5 is greater than 3. That is true, but 5 is not equals to 3, which we should expect an output of false. For this, 5 greater than or equals to 3. So for this operator, we are checking 2 conditions. So we are checking if 5 is greater than 3 or if 5 is equals to 3. So for this condition now, if one of the condition is met and the other is not, so we'll get true, especially if the first condition is met. And for this now, if we check 5 is greater than 3, that is true, but 5 is not equals to 3. So the first line here should print true for us. And this one, 3 is greater than 5 or 3 equals to 5. We know that all the 2 conditions are not met, so we should get false. Let's try it out. So we can say that the first condition gives us true because 5 is greater than 3, and we know that 5 is not equals to 3, but one of the conditions is true because what we are comparing is or. So 5 greater than or 5 equals to 3. So for this one now, for the second line, 3 greater than or equals to 5. We know that the 2 conditions are not met, so that equals to false. So it's still the same way we check less than or equals to. So let's take an example of less than or equals to. So print 5 less than or equals to 3 and print 3 less than or equals to 5. So just the way we have explained above, if one of the condition is met, then we should get true as our output. So for the first line, 5 is less than 3, which is false, or we say 5 equals to 3. So the 2 conditions are false, so we should expect false for this first line. And for the second line, 3 is less than 5, that is true. 3 equals to 5, that is false. So for the fact that one of the condition is met in this operator, then we should expect true. So if we run this now, we'll see the first line output false and the second line output true. So that's all about our comparison operator. So we'll move to the logical operator. So the logical operators are and, or, not. Yeah, and, or, not. Let's check if a person is a teenager. So for example, we can say check if a person is a teenager. So we can assign the value to age and say age equals to 16, and we can print and see print age greater than or equals to 13 and age less or equals to 19. So what this code is trying to do is that if somebody supply their age, we check if the age is between 13 and 19. What we first do is check is the age greater than or equals to 13 and is the age less than or equals to 19. So the first check must output to true, and the second check must also output to true for the person to be considered a teenager. So if we run this, we should get true. So we get true because this first check, which is trying to check age is equals to 16, and we are saying is 16 greater than or equals to 13. We know that is true because 16 is greater than 13. And we are checking is 16 less than or equals to 19. That will also be equals to true because 16 is less than 19. And for our logical operator, true and true will always equals to true. So let's try something else again and change the age to another value. Let's say age now is 21, and we know teenager is between the age of 13 and 19. So we'll say age, the same code, greater than or equals to 13, and age less or equals to 19. So what we are checking again is that is the age greater than or equals to 19. For example, this we check true. So if we print everything, let's split it and break it down. Let's set this 13 and print age is less than or equals to 19. So the first one we check here is age greater than or equals to 13. This should check true. And is age less than or equals to 19? This will be false. So if we want to check if somebody is a teenager, so the age range should be between 13 and 19. So if we run this, we'll see true and false. So if we combine the code as earlier and say we check that is true and false, now we should get false because one of the condition is false. So we get false. So that is for AND operator. So for OR operator, you can say for equals 2 multiplied by 2, or 7 modulus 2 is not equals to 0. If one of these is true, then we get true as our answer. So even though one is false. So for example, we know that 4 equals 2 multiplied by 2 will be the same. That is 4 is equals to 2 multiplied by 2. But 7 modulus 2 is also not equals to 0. So these two values are true. So we are going to get true as an answer. And we'll get true as an answer. So if we want to check for not, so we can say not, so the first bracket, 2 modulus 5 is equals 0, and 3 modulus 5 is equals 0. So we know that all of these are false because 2 divided by 5 will not give us a perfect division, and 3 divided by 5 will also not give us a perfect division. So if we check this now, this is false and this is also false, which should be false. But we put a negation here, not false. So which will turn all these to true. Now we have come to the end of our Python operators and you have given code examples. So if you have any question, put it down in the comment section and I will respond to them. So I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and put your question in the comment section.